Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Aquarius. That's Aquarius Sun Moon Rising for the month of July 2025. Before we get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you for joining this wonderful community of like-minded souls. I think you're going to enjoy yourself here. For those who have been with me for years, as I call them, my tried and true, thank you so much for your continued support. It's been quite a journey that we've been on together. And of course, we welcome new people always to join our merry band of our merry bands of whatever. Star Seekers. To my Patreon, thank you so much for supporting me over all these years. There's more fun to come on Patreon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. You get everything earlier than everybody else as well, so that's kind of cool. Um, and to my members on my membership on YouTube, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. The support that I get allows me to do more for those who both can afford to support me in the ways that they do, and even those who uh, actually can only support me through thumbs up and likes, and that it all counts. It all counts. The energy, the positive energy in my direction always counts, but I do appreciate your willingness to take the plunge in that way. All right, and there's more to come for the members. More little rotten apples for the basket of deplorables, and I promise, a lot more adorables in the basket of adorables. If you want to know what that's about, you can check out the membership. Okay, so we're going to look at the astrology first. Now, I understand that not everybody is, all up in the astrology. So if you just are here for the chart reading, that I will timestamp it so you can find it easily. And if you want to come back to the chart reading, I mean the tower reading, you can do it that way. Okay, so I just need to go to Aquarius as soon as I can find the little lever. Oops, not wrong direction. Okay, let's try again. Nope, still wrong direction. I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. For some reason, my computer wasn't showing me where things were. Okay, so you might be wondering, maybe, especially if this is your first taroscope, why the tower is sitting over there on the right-hand side of the chart. Well, it's because we're in a 7 month and a 9 universal year. When we add those two vibrations together, we get a 16-7, which in the tarot is the tower card. So this month is a month for the tower. It's a month of illumination. It's a month of the facades of who we put ourselves out there as. The false personas fall away and we come to really understand who we are. The tower is not there to punish us. The tower is there to enlighten us and to remind us who we truly are. We are spirits having a human experience. The base number of the 16-7, the 7 requires us to know ourselves. And the more we are comfortable with ourselves, the more we understand that we have the right to be who we are. It empowers us and does help us navigate through this time with a little more ease and grace than those who pretend to be or are trying to be uh, somebody else or something else to please somebody else, because it's really all about self here. 7 is the vibration of self. So that being said, we start with July, the sun in the sign of Cancer, of course, and that is your 6th house. So the beginning of the month, there's a focus on your health and your well-being, which is always a good thing. We also have Jupiter there. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's a very lucky planet. It is a planet of growth. And so in the house of health, things can grow. You want to make sure the things that grow are things that expand your health, make you healthier, as opposed to things that grow that can not be for your better betterment of your health. Um, you have your house of health ruled by the moon. And so, your feelings and how you feel are going to be important, especially with Jupiter there, because now with Jupiter in Cancer, it's disposited by the moon. So you may get feels that you didn't realize you could feel so much in such a little amount of time. Every 2.5 days, the moon changes signs, and that will influence to a certain extent your feelings. All right. I do want to point out that Pluto is now in your sign, as you know, and will be there for another 18 years in that first house, transforming you on a cellular level. The sun moves from Cancer into Leo. That happens on the 22nd. On the 24th, we have a new moon in the sign of Leo. And on the 25th, we have the sun in Leo opposing that Pluto in your sign of Aquarius. It goes across your axis of self and others, and so there can be an an awareness around a relationship or how you relate, and there could be a little bit of a power struggle here. Whenever Pluto opposes anything, Pluto is the planet of power. Um, there's always some sort of power struggle, but you do become aware of the parameters of the struggle, and you can move from there. Your seventh house is pretty busy this month with Mercury starting the month in Leo, moving until the 18th forward, and then it goes retrograde on the 18th, and it's retrograde until the 11th of April. No, not April. Sorry, August. Not April. August. And then also in August, the Mercury is going to be in Leo. So there's a lot of time with Mercury in Leo, part of it going forward, part of it going back. Mercury is how we evaluate. It's a mental energy, right? In Leo, though, it's passionate. So it can be passionate ideas back and forth in your relationships. Things will have to be reviewed. There could be some miscommunication in relationship. Just be aware of all of that as you move through this month. Mars is in Virgo all month. It's moving through your eighth house of your shared resources. Um, Mars in Virgo is very analytical, and you like that. You like analysis, probably more than most, as an Aquarius. And so it's a good time to review your insurance policies, maybe anything to do with taxes, anything to do with shared resources. It's a good time to make sure everything is copacetic, as they say. The South Node is moving through that place in your chart with the North Node moving through your second house, the house of values, also the house of valuing yourself in Pisces, asking you to be compassionate with the self. Saturn and Neptune are both now in Aries in that third house, sort of expanding that mind of yours, uh, putting in new ideas. It's almost like your mind is getting seeded with new ideas. Both of those planets station retrograde, Neptune on the 4th of July and Saturn on the 13th of July. But they'll still be in Aries. Saturn moves out of Aries on, I believe, the 1st of September when it goes back into Pisces, and Neptune, I can't remember. After that, Neptune goes back later, back into Pisces. So both those planets are going to go back into your second house at a point. And then in 2026, they move into that third house. In the case of Neptune, for about 14 years, and in the case of Saturn, for about 2.5 years. So you'll have plenty of time with these planets in that house. And you're getting a taste of what that may mean right now. Options of moving forward, but there's still some things that we need to resolve with things in Pisces. When things go back into Pisces, that's when we really have to sort of let go and kind of have faith when it comes to moving forward. And of course, the North Node is in Pisces too, again, requiring us to be compassionate, to be hopeful, to be loving, to be unconditionally loving, really, to just love everyone, even our enemies, right? Jesus said, love thyself, love others as thy love thyself, or something like that. I should know what Jesus said. The nuns would be appalled, but you know what I mean. I don't have to tell you guys. Okay. Venus starts the month in Taurus, and on the 4th, she moves into 4th of July, she moves into Gemini, but not before she makes a conjunction to Uranus at the last degree of Taurus. And then on the 7th, Uranus moves into Gemini. Now, Uranus hasn't been at that degree of Gemini for 84 years. So this is there's a lot of, this year, the 9 year that we're in, there's a lot of sort of moving into new ground, but then having to back into the old stuff. There's a lot of that. And when we have those kind of transformational energies moving back and forth, especially Neptune and Uranus, and also Saturn, which deals with the structure of our reality, we know that there's big shifts, and that to a certain extent, we're in a 9 year, we're going to have to let go of that which no longer serves us, and then take what has worked and what is still precious to us and plant that in the new vibration in the 10-1 year 2026. And in point of fact, in 2026, these two planets will be conjoining in a new phase and a new cycle at the first degree of Aries, which is all about emergence of a new consciousness. So we are in the birth canal right now. And now the baby's like, I don't know if I want to come out quite yet. If I want to go back into that amniotic fluid place, I'll come back out in February. But we're still working. We're still working through it, and we're still getting ideas and new things seeding into our consciousness. So it's an exciting time to be alive for sure. We do have a new moon in the sign of Leo that happens, as I said, on the 24th, but the full moon happens on the 11th, and that's a full moon in Capricorn, the full moon in your house of uh, karma, your house of self-undoing, but also your house of spirit, with the sun in the 6th house. This is the axis of health and healing. It's also the axis of it's a very karmic place, and perhaps there's an awareness of some things that you need to still sort of resolve before you can be free of something. So that's what that full moon can bring forth. Okay, so let me stop the share, and we'll get to the tarot reading. Now, I put on my little bee earrings for this reading, and I said, well, I'm going to have to use the bee tarot, right? If I have the bee earrings on. The bees are about is very collective energy, right? Working for the collective, working for the good of the hive. And there's very much that energy in Aquarius as well as independent spirit, and a little bit in a little of anarchy in your sign. But you know, we're all in this together, and we can improve upon things for sure. All right. Let me just, oops. All right. Oops. I'm sorry. I'm just having a little trouble shuffling these. I want to make sure I give it a good shuffle. It'd be helpful if I could shuffle right in front of myself, but that's where the computer is. And when I try to shuffle on the computer, sometimes I shut it off. It's not a good thing when you're doing a video. All right. Let's see where we are. Ooh, we start with the World card. So the World it's a Saturn card, but it's about an ending and a new beginning. So this is the birth canal on the tree of life. This card is located between, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yep, Yesod, the purple, and Malkuth. And in the physical body, it's the birth canal. So you're giving birth to something, you're manifesting something. And that manifestation has been, a long road for you, but it's coming out now. But as it comes out, that means it's the end of a cycle. And then we start a new cycle. And that sort of resonates with the whole Aries energy I talked about, sort of, um, new ideas seeding at the same time something is coming out. The challenge is the barrow here. This is the the chariot card. The challenge is that things are happening fast. Things are happening fast. So it's almost like you've been waiting for so long that you're like, oh, it's ever going to happen. Then suddenly, labor pains, you're like, whoop, whoop, there comes the baby, comes out. Underneath it all, ooh, the Princess of Pentacles. This is a energy of learning something new, starting a new project. So you're giving birth, you're ending something, and at the root of this is the new project. And we can see this little bee, this little girl bee, little worker bee, doing her due diligence, collecting pollen that she's going to bring back to the hive. It's exploratory. So there's this new exploration that you're undergoing right now. And there's still a learning curve. It's a page, so you don't know everything you need to know, but you're gathering the information and you're gathering the pollen and the nectar in order to create something useful. In the past, we have temperance. So temperance is a card of healing. It's also a card of having had to walk the straight and narrow. So there's a certain amount of what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, my neighbors are leaf blowing or something. Hold on one second. I want to shut the door so it doesn't. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's very annoying to me. So I'll be right back. We mostly do our own landscaping, but the neighbors have guys that come and do it, and they always make a racket. But it doesn't last forever. So, all right. So we have temperance in the. You've been very good. You've done your due diligence. You've tried to focus yourself. Uh, you've been walking the straight and narrow. Let's see what's in the sky. The King of Jars. The King of Jars in this deck is the King of Cups. The sky card is suggestions by spirit. Sometimes it's the outer world, but this feels like a suggestion from spirit or guidance from spirit. And it is about having dominion over your feelings and a willingness to explore them. Now, remember, we do have Jupiter now in Cancer. And, sometimes, and it's in your house of health. So feelings are important because they can see things, health issues. And Aquarius isn't always so like up on the wanting to feel the feelings because you tend to be more intellectual. You tend to think things out instead of necessarily feel things. It's the most, in a way, Aquarius is the most, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Most separated, most objective from their feeling nature. But it doesn't mean that you don't feel, but you have a way of sort of having it at an arm's length, which may not be a bad thing, but you do have to pay attention. So Spirit is saying, pay attention to the feelings that you're having. All right, your immediate future. Ooh, the Two of Wands. Here we go. A new walking through a gate here to a new adventure. So this is about moving forward into a new project. So that is definitely a theme here as you give birth to what you've been working on. How it's seen from the outside, the Two of Swords is a little bit of a, trying to decide which way to go, maybe being at a crossroads. People recognize that you're picking a new direction. And you do, the Two of Swords, the woman in the Two of Swords does have a blindfold on, Whenever you see a blindfold in these cards, it generally means that you have to rely on your intuition because the road ahead may not be quite clear. So you not only do you have to pay attention to your feelings, we know you pay attention to your mind because you're a mind sign, but you also have to pay attention to your intuition. That will lead the way for you. Your domestic situation, the moon. So there is some things, this could be your home, your family, perhaps, or it could just be the world in general, your domestic situation. The moon requires you uh, to feel but not get caught up in the insanity of that. There's a sense of having to go within. The moon card is a 9, it's an 18-9 vibration. We're in a 9 year. The moon always is this sense of something coming up from under the surface. Perhaps that's why Spirit wants you to pay attention to your feelings. Hopes and fears, the 10 of jars or the 10 of cups. We have these two little bees and their family. So you're hoping for happiness. You're hoping not just for yourself, because you are the true humanitarian that you are. You're hoping, you're wishing that people are kind of left alone and allowed to be happy, which is not really the state of affairs, unfortunately, for a lot of people. The outcome, we have the Two of Pentacles. So there's some balancing that you have to do, some juggling, perhaps. It's interesting because this Two of Pentacles is in the winter here, and so there can be a sense, and especially when you're starting like a new project, you can have a sense that you don't have the resources that you normally have, and so you're going to have to balance your finances a little bit more than usual. And then we have the Hermit as the outcome of the outcome. Well, I always pull to see if I can get a major arcana, and we do have one here, the Hermit. This is about sharing your wisdom, right? Lighting the way, showing the bees where the hive is, where the truth is, where the light is, shining your light for others. Let's see what's underneath this all this underneath. Okay, we have some anxiety. Yeah. Mental anxiety, financial. Oh no, this is emotional loss, feeling that you're losing everything, but you are not. There is still there are still opportunities. It's just that you know, it's a hard time to be alive. It's a hard time to witness, even for those who aren't particularly emotional. It's a hard time to witness the suffering that we're seeing. And then lastly, the Six of Jars, which is fair distribution of resources. So this will ultimately come to a more balanced place, but I think it's hard for such a humanitarian to have to see what's going on, honestly. All right, so a lot of new beginnings for you. Although, as always, when things begin, you have to pay close attention because you don't have necessarily have the foundation under it yet, but you keep working on that and you will have the foundation and you will be successful. All right, so one more. I'm going to be doing an oracle reading using the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and we'll see what animal comes up. Would be funny if it was the bee, right? Because I was hoping it would be the bee, but we'll see. I'm all beat out. To be or not to be? That's the question. Will be. Will be. Aries is all about being. I am, right? What are you? Who are you? And what are you here to offer? Ooh, bat spirit. Bat spirit. This is the second time I got bat spirit. Let's see what's the next one. Okay, I was just to see if it was a bee, but it wasn't. Underneath? Nope, no bees yet. Okay. Bat spirit. This is sort of like a hanged man card. It says a rebirth is assured. A rebirth is assured. Okay. We pull that up. and I will hold it up. It is the 5 card in this deck, and 5. Oops, can you see that? It's the 5 card. It's hard to see. Sorry about that. There we go. There's the little bat. He's got a little crown on his head too. It says, after something has run its course and died or been released, that was the world card, right? Uh, Finished, surrendered, completed, or ended, there is a promise of a new beginning. Rebirth is assured just as night gives way to the dawn and the bat emerges from the darkness of the womb-like cave. Bat Spirit has come to remind you that this rebirth is a miraculous one, for the very best elements of what you had to give up in the death of the old are still present in the new. Amazing life forming now. This is the miracle and the magic of rebirth in every aspect of your life, including the rebirth of faith in your ability to establish new and healthy relationships. Bat Spirit reminds you that at present you are in unknown territory and may feel as if you are lost. However, you are called to trust that your intuition will be your reliable guide as you give birth to something new and unfamiliar. Bat Spirit has listened to the darkness of night and has heard all your hopes and dreams, your fears, your worries, and assures you that this new version of your dream to move forward from darkness to light, from lost to found, from death to rebirth, comes to fruition with love at its core. Bat Spirit asks you to trust that which seems to have died is actually shape-shifting into something even more meaningful and wondrous than before. If you feel you are in the dark, know that um, the coming morning, that come morning, sorry, all will be revealed and things will be in a new form that is right for you. So, new beginnings all over the place for you. Just have to have faith and know that everything is conspiring for the good and your development. All right, well, stay safe. It's going to be a crazy month. I know, being a Tower month, but you will do okay, and we'll all do okay. And take care of yourself. Have a blessed month. Namaste until August. Take care.